Hello listeners and welcome back to ND 5.18, and as always I'm your host Ender, and we're back at it yet again with another player archetype. Today we will be going over a style that is dear to many of people's hearts and has spawned series on other YouTube channels, and that is the Jank Player. Playstyle spotlighting. Want to see something cool? And two cards I think really sum up Jank, as is one red mana creature, Obstinate Familiar. It states if you would draw a card, you may skip that draw instead. Little combo you could come up with. And the other card is Renfield, Delusional Minion, otherwise known as Iruth, Tormented Prophet. It reads if you would draw a card, exile the top two cards of your library instead. You may play those cards this turn. Now, those are your examples of Jank. Now let's see how we can really show you something cool. Our first slide. Don't you like fun? Have you grown tired of simply winning the game? Is combat damage, taxing your opponents, comboing, controlling, tempo, has it just become too monotonous for you? Then you will love it here. Here at the Jankyard. Fun is the name of the game, and fun can mean all types of different things. For instance, we have this 2-card combo right here, Spreading Algae, a 1-mana green enchantment that reads, Spreading Algae can only enchant only a swamp. When enchanted land becomes tapped, destroy that land. When Spreading Algae is put into a graveyard from play, return Spreading Algae to its owner's hand. We have the legendary land Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Each land is a swamp in addition to its other land types. And that, my people, my listeners, is how you can effectively destroy the entire mana base of an opponent. And it's just 2 cards alone. Simple Jank, but Jank can be strong. Now, on our way to the Jankyard, we have to first get to the curbside. And a special note here. You don't need to limit yourself to a budget. You don't need to have an exorbitant amount of money. You don't need anything but a brilliant idea just from you yourself. You could take a staple of a format and recycle it with an obscure card and just watch the results turn out to be something completely amazing. Jank players know it's the journey, not the destination, that you must enjoy. And these 4 cards right here, prime examples of some strong Jank synergy. First one, Heartless Summoning, 1 in a black enchantment. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Creature you control get -1/-1. I don't know about you, but it seemed worth it to me. It seems like it can fit together in a plethora of decks. And right along with it is Blood Funnel, 1 in a black enchantment that reads 9 creature spells you play cost 2 less to play. Whenever you play a 9-creature spell, counter that spell unless you sacrifice a creature. This seems to fit right home in a unconventional Spellslinger deck in black, or it could just give you some value in the token synergy deck in general. I've never seen anyone play this card, and I know it has great potential. Following behind that is Leyline of Singularity. 2 blue. Enchantment states if Leyline of Singularity is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it in play. All non-land permanents are legendary for you and your opponents. This means off the bat, token synergies are gone. Cloning, done. So many little niche and prevailing strategies are rendered mute by this one card, and they make it better. Fracture Identity, 3 white, blue, sorcery. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token that's a copy of it. You just gave it to everybody at the table except yourself. Seems to me that's pretty good. And that's just on the way to the Jankyard, resting here at the curbside. Now, how does one get from the curbside to the Jankyard? With the jank truck, of course. Now, everyone likes the idea of jank, from MTG Goldfish to Strictly Better MTG. You want to see undervalued cards come out of nowhere, destroy a well-established or powerful new card itself, and just run the wreck shot through whatever format you're playing it in. That is fun. I will give you that. But another way to use jank is just cards that no one uses. Nobody. It could be something powerful, but because it's just so niche that people have failed to grasp it. For instance, look at Worship. 3 and a white enchantment. If you control a creature, damage shall reduce your life total to less than 1, reduce it to 1 instead. Simple, and it's good. You think, oh man, that's a powerful card. Too bad about removal. What if you played around that? What if you played within the subtleties? Like, for instance, this card, Castle Ardenvale. It's a land. Castle Ardenvale enters the battlefield tapped unless you control the planes. It taps for white. Tap 2 white, and this land create a 1 white human creature token. Just play in the stack. Say, oh man, I'm about to die. Boom, I make a token. It just reduces my life to 1. Okay, it works. And you have to take this into effect. You have to take this under consideration here. It says damage that will reduce your life. It doesn't say combat damage. It doesn't say non-creature damage. It doesn't do it. It just says damage. As long as you can keep on creating a token at instant speed, you cannot lose. Now, these next 2 cards aren't anything special. These are just 2 legendary creatures that I've seen that no one has talked about, no one's mentioned, no one's done anything with. And I would just like to, insert this into the collective mind. The first card is Baluna Grand Squall in Timor. It is a forest, island, mountain, legendary creature, giant noble for 4/4. She is also a spell called Seek Thrills. 2, a forest, an island, a mountain. Instant adventure. It says mill 7 cards, then put all cards that have an adventure from among the mill cards into your hand. As a body, she says trample permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost 1 less to cast. Simple, just a good theme. I don't really see a lot of adventure decks out there. The only one I know of is a Bant that also sees snow play. Adventures are a fun concept. I think there should be more decks out there like that. I would love to see someone actually take this card and build something amazing with it. The next one is Lily Bowen, Raging Grandma. You don't visit your grandma enough. I keep telling you, man. It's all fun and games until she pop out and show you. She is a 3 in the green, legendary creature, mutant warrior. Your grandma been lifting, okay? Has vigilance, enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Lily Bowen if its power is 16 or less. Otherwise, remove all but 1 +1/+1 counter from it. Then you gain 1 life for each +1/+1 counter removed this way. A lot of +1/+1 counters were said in that sentence. Let's just be real about that. But grandma got that muscle, and she trying to give you some cookies here. Now, you gonna eat these cookies, or she gonna shove them down your throat, one way or another. Now, if you're gonna be joining us here down at the Jankyard, in our questionnaire, you will find 3 questions. Number 1, once you start digging the hole, how far will you go? When you get a crazy bonkers idea, you're just like, you need to build this deck. You really think that you can show something that's never been done before. Are you willing to put in the time to keep workshopping this over and over until you make it fit what you imagine? Number 2 is making a deck more fun than playing it. And be honest with yourself. I've known people have so many decks just because they had a crazy idea. They wanted to see if they could do it. They did it. Cool. They put it on the shelf. Is their trophy case. Being a jank player, you do tend to gravitate toward. Once you do it, you're done with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Number 3. Are you a fan of bondage? You know, being tied up? You like a little suffering? Get you going in a way? Nothing wrong with it. You know, I'm just asking. And here lies the duality of the jank player. The ingenious prodigy, X in the blue, with Skulk. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Ingenious prodigy enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Ingenious Prodigy has 1 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from it. If you do, draw a card. And on the flip side, Choking Restraints. 2 and a white, enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. 3 and 2 white, sacrifice Choking Restraints, exiling enchanted player. To do this and be this archetype, you're walking the line between these two. Hey, but if you can do it, you will know so much happiness that other players can only get through beating their opponent themselves, not just playing the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the risk assessment. Our strengths: personal satisfaction in creating your own Frankenstein's monster, and knowing you did good. Next, flexibility in packages. Very little gotta have it cards. Yeah, I mean, you don't need staples in your deck. And if you're building a jank deck and you need super strong staples, let's be honest here, you did not try hard enough to make your monster real. Finally, it's cheap. You don't need to spend almost anyway. You can go to a bulk box, start working on something right now. Sure, it may not be the strongest thing out there, but all you need is an idea. Now, weaknesses. There's a certain level of fragility to anything that you build. You know, if someone hits it just the right way, shatters completely. That's part of being made out of someone else's trash. 2, multiple iterations for a working prototype. Yeah, that kind of goes in with those questions on the, application right there. If you don't got patience, if you can't handle taking losses, this is not for you. Number 3, in failure, it hurts. In victory, the ego trip is, oh my God. Doing something stupid and it works. It's like, oh man, it's something special to it. But when it fails, you feel devastated. If you can accept the strengths and weaknesses, you'll go far as a jank player. Now it's time for the tips and advice. First off, patience and time are needed as you go through entire sets for scraps. Yeah, you thought I was going to say something about, you need time to work on the deck. No. You're going to need to dive in because Magic the Gathering is releasing set after set after set after set, special edition sets, commander sets, secret lair sets, limited edition runs. There's so many out there there's so many hidden gems that are missed all the time. Secondly, find a protection package in every color before investing your time and resources into building a deck. Because my goodness, man, there's sometimes I see someone like, oh man, I got this great idea. But if you build a glass cannon or you build something that literally someone could just breathe on it and it not work, I go back to the drawing board. Come on, man. You got to treat this like flubber. Like it has to, be able to move and shake with it. 3, there will be failures. And that's all right. People get so caught up in like, no, I never want to lose. No, this can't go wrong. No. Oh, no. It's part of the game. There's winners and losers. An idea, majority of the time, will not work on the very first run. Keep trying. You will get there. And it will be okay. People, come on. And the 2 cards here are Jin, Illuminatus, 5, and either a blue or red, and a blue or red. Flying 3/5. Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. When you cast it, copy it for each time you pay this replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies. The second card is Pact of the Titan. Create a 4/4 red giant creature token. At the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 4 in the red. If you don't, you lose the game. Now you may be like, what do these cards have in common? Yeah. Read it one more time, friend. Hello, listeners, and thank you yet again for joining me here at ND 5.18 with your host, as always, Ender, for another edition of the Player Archetype series. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps. And please share as well. I hope you all live your best life and be well. I also hope that you all like the more casual tone of this video. I want to let a little more of my personality shine through. Let me know what you think down below. Goodbye, everybody.